對於各位喜愛肉食主義者嘅朋友嚟講咧，牛排咧可以話喺佢哋日常生活中咧不可缺少嘅佳肴。尤其是我哋生活喺呢個牛肉大國，各種各樣嘅頂級美味嘅牛排都可以咧俾我哋享受得到。喺灣區咧就有一個咧專門做牛排嘅牛排店，大廚咧老闆咧非常有個性喎。多年來咧佢哋係專注做一件事啫，就係努力咁做好美味佳肴。咁有匠人精神，而且又受到米其林嘅肯定嘅餐廳咧，當然咧值得我哋咧去介紹一下啊嘛！大家亦有機會咧學習啊點樣將啲牛排做到極致。好似科廚都夠晒重啊
！Hi,
welcome. Hi, Chef. How you doing? Hi, Chef Jeff. How you doing?
Nice to meet you. Yeah.
You know, I'm just wondering why this door is like a fortress, so heavy.
Yeah, the door's pretty amazing. It cost over $50,000. People may say that's a stupid thing to do, but really it's the first thing that the guest sees and the first thing that the guest touches. So I just wanted this to be a grand door.
九牛二虎之力嘅，然後先拉得到個門啊！
Be.Steak.A, like that. And so that's the Italian word for steak, specifically a porterhouse. And so with this restaurant, it's pronounced, well, you see it Be.Steak.A, but it was supposed to be or meant to be an American play on an Italian word. So an American spelling of the Italian word for steak.
We have some of the rarest beef in the world. We have some of the rarest whiskey and Amaros in the world. Kind of being able to give people those experiences that they don't get anywhere else.
When you come in, you see the wine, and so that you know that our restaurant is a wine-oriented restaurant, but we wanted to create more like that hotel concierge. This is my wife. This is my wife, Jazz. Yeah, she's a big fan.
I hope she's my fan too.
Yeah, big time. We all are. We all are.
Now, when I walk in, besides the door, I have another piece. It looks like an art. What is this?
This is a guitarra, they call it. What it means is when they make pasta like linguine or spaghetti, they force the pasta through. Today with social media, Instagram is so important, so this is kind of our area to be able to take our picture and be able to say hello. This way and come around the corner, we're gonna see the dining room, but first we pass through our kitchen. Oh, there's the guitar.
There's the guitar right here.
The item I was just talking about.
That's a guitar.
And he'll push the pasta through it, and that's Chef Patrick Capurro. He's the executive chef here at this restaurant, so he and I worked together for many years. You can see our beautiful kitchen here. And one thing you're gonna notice too is just, well, besides the sheer size of it, how clean it is and how well lit.
我老公非常用心，他希望厨房很大，所以这个厨房占了我们整个餐厅的1半面积。
Okay, as walking this way now we see the dining room and it opens up. This is your first glimpse. The restaurant's beautiful. We had so much to do with the design here, and this is just meant to be kind of like a luxurious feel.
This is a beautiful design.
If you like dining experiences where it's a little bit more encompassing from start to finish, this would be the place to really, really come and try. Just because there's not many restaurants that kind of give the overwhelming hospitality and, you know, excitement just for having the people in the seats that you're going to get at other restaurants.
I smell something perfumey, and I smell something I love. What is that?
Oh, that is actually the Alba white truffles. So these are the best truffles in the world. The season just started, so this is our first pound that we got in. The pasta that you saw Chef rolling there is actually the pasta that we use for these. And these are shaved tableside for the guests so they can smell them. And they're so aromatic that it's just like as soon as this box opens, whew,
Like perfume.
over $3,000 right now.
3000块美金一磅，哇！
We take into account all the things that the guest will touch and feel and see. And so things like our plateware here, Richard Ginori plates. I mean, these are imported from Italy. These are some of the highest quality china that you can get. And the guest notices it. It's not just in the quality of the plate, but how it looks and feels in the hand. Same thing with our silverware. You know, the linen that we choose, it's chosen for a feel. When you come in and you can pick that up and it feels thicker and more rich and has something to the touch. Our wine glasses are Sophienwald, which is imported from Germany. When you are drinking wine, you are only wanting to focus on the wine.
So where are we going?
This is our other restaurant. This is Orchard City Kitchen. So this one I started in 2014. Wow. This is after my previous steakhouse experience. So this restaurant was meant to be very casual, very fast, very oriented towards small plates, American dining. But this restaurant, Orchard City Kitchen, is Michelin Bib Gourmand from day one back in 2014. So we've actually had the Bib Gourmand for 9 years now. And of course, what that means is you can have a great meal under $40.
It's one of the most popular areas for people to sit is out here on our patio.
California, sunny California, everybody outdoors, fresh air, and also we got trees and it's pretty quiet and you got a big tree. This is a beautiful setting.
Really comfortable.
Yeah. For me, the first stop in the restaurant is the bar. Agree? Absolutely. Wow. Let's check it out.
Folks, we are primarily influenced by a lot of Italian flavors and ingredients. So our bar utilizes a lot of Italian spirits, therefore amaros and aperitifs and digestives. So you'll find in some cocktails that you'll see in the menu, showcase those items and highlight those items. And Martin, our favorite cocktail, everyone orders it. And here we have a fan favorite, our Ramos Gin Fizz. This highlights Neapolitan ice cream flavors. So think a strawberry, vanilla, and chocolate milkshake.
呢個咧，從來未飲過咁得意嘅嘢咧，一路飲落去啦，呢個咧成日浮喺上面，好似水泡蓮咁啊！啊，我叫做咧 Rising Star。
Rising Star, the Ramos Gin Fizz.
Gin Fizz， 味道咧好香濃。And once again, cheers! 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 Chef Patrick, you're the master chef from Italy. You're originally your family from Italy.
My great-grandparents, yes, came over here from Italy, so...
Wow. For Italian, pasta just like the Chinese rice and noodle.
So we're going to take our dough. We're just going to use this as a pasta sheeter. And this is just going to slowly roll it out into thin sheets for us.
整個意大利嘅雲吞皮，些少麵粉喺度，等佢唔會黐啊嘛。越整啊越薄，你睇下嗱。哇！真係好薄，薄到好似啲紙咁樣啊！然後咧就咧呢個好特別嘅刀嚟喎嗱，你睇下嗱。首先咧就整到長方形，然後咧就四方形嘅雲吞皮。個雲吞皮咧比較中國人啲雲吞皮咧稍微細啲咁多嘅。嗱，跟住嚟咧，阿 Chef Patrick 咧就同我哋咧做呢個意大利雲吞，即係好啲中國嗰啲雲吞麵嗰啲雲吞咁嘅樣，你睇下嗱。
So this is a kabocha squash filling. It's inspired by a tortelloni di zucca or cappellacci di zucca, really classic Italian fall and winter pasta. I like to use kabocha squash. It's a style of pumpkin, but it has really intense flavor. So it's
You bake it for how long?
So this was roasted for about 45 minutes with a little butter, a little rosemary.
See this?
Till it's nice and soft. So we have some Parmesan cheese, a little honey, good amount of honey just to brighten up the sweetness that's already there.
This is organic honey.
Yes, some salt and pepper, of course. Every Italian grandma's favorite ingredient, some nutmeg.
嗱，呢個咧就意大利菜好重要嘅食材嘅香料，叫做咧豆蔻。
Yep, we'll start blending it, and then we're gonna drizzle in some browned butter. So this is butter that's been cooked to the point that all of the milk solids start to caramelize within the butter. So this is just a nod, again, to the classic tortelloni di zucca, which is usually served with a brown butter sauce.
This is the filling. This is the filling. The texture. Let me taste a little bit. Beautiful.
Thank you.
香香甜甜，特別好啊！預早整起個 filling 咧，擠落去，
We'll make a few here in the center just to demonstrate.
啱喺正中間，要啱啱夠，唔好太多亦唔好少嚇，即係好似中國啲雲吞皮咁啊嚇。喺四川咧，叫做紅油抄手，即係話咧咁樣煲嘅，你睇下，個個都係咁樣嘅。Actually, this is just like the same way the Chinese do the wonton.
Yep.
Chef Patrick 咧，為你哋各位贈送啲元寶啊！而家開始咧就煮呢個 pasta 啦嚇。
It'll be about 2 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes in the water.
2分鐘嚇，咁啊夠啦。咁啊開始整個 sauce 啦嚇。
So we're gonna start with our saffron wine from before. And we'll put a little bit of salt and a little bit of our honey. So this is sort of a savory and sweet pasta course.
嗱，呢個 saffron 咧就藏紅花，好香㗎嚇。嗰種顏色咧好配合 pumpkin 嗰種金黃色嘅，將啲酒精揮發咗佢，但係酒味仍然喺度，浮上嚟之後得啦。你睇啦，膨脹咗喎，大隻咗啦，金黃色。
And then lots of butter.
好，夠晒牛油啊！你睇下，上碟。
The rest is all garnish, so we're gonna top it off with our squash that we've roasted here first.
唔單止要煮得好食，要好睇喎。
Little poppy seeds.
Poppy seed，
Just
俾啲顏色落去。
poppy seed.
Poppy seed，
Put a little bit right on each piece.
新鮮嘅 rosemary 香葉。
And then lastly, our honeycomb sponge candy that we make in house.
色香味齊，哇！你睇下。
So this is our Cappellacci di zucca. It's one of our signature pastas here at Be.Steak.A.
跟住嚟咧，阿 chef 咧又同我哋介紹第二個菜咯喎嚇。
So this is our Tomahawk chop. This is a signature item here at Be.Steak.A. Incredible Wagyu product. This is Australian. It's a Curry Wagyu. We prefer more of a wet age or just a natural age on the steak outside of dry aged steak. So you can see all the marbling that we have here. Nice fat cap here. All of this, we don't want to take that off. We want it to render and cook as we sear our steak.
好似個斧頭咁嘅嚇，呢啲係戰斧嘅牛扒，好哇！你睇咁大嚿嘅。
We always present our steaks really beautifully like we have here, just to kind of highlight some of the ingredients that go into the accompaniments. We do right now a panzanella tomato salad, so we have our tomatoes here to kind of showcase that. And it also comes with a demi-glaze, which is made from the beef bones and mirepoix herbs. So we kind of highlight the ingredients that we use to focus the flavors of the steak.
嗱，你試師傅咧用咧做沙律咧一定係用呢啲嘅 heirloom tomato， 唔好睇但係好好食嘅。
First thing we're going to do is season the steak. Good kosher salt or sea salt. Good amount of black pepper as well.
燕磨嘅黑椒粉、胡椒粉，嗱兩邊嚇。
And lots of it because we're gonna put it on the grill, and you're gonna lose half of your salt just by the cooking process.
4磅重啊！啲雞唔係開玩笑啊！
We want to get it all over, side, on the bone.
些少油，
Just a bit of oil.
Now we're ready to cook.
So, just to talk about our grill for a little bit.
我問 Patrick 咩木頭嚟㗎？杏仁樹嗰啲木頭嚟㗎。點解咧？因為冇咁多煙啊！你其他啲木一燒，哇好多煙嘅，呢個少煙，但係咧一樣有咁個火，所以咧用杏仁木嚇。因為你知加州咧盛產杏仁㗎嘛，所以周圍都有杏仁木喎，所以咧呢個咧環保啦嚇。
The flavor and the smoke is exactly what we want for our style of cooking. It has a nice high heat, which is what we want, especially to get a good char. And then we get the flavor from the smoke as well.
幾分鐘之後咧，反轉佢嚇，大家睇下幾靚，哇！嗰啲油啲脂肪咧流咗出嚟先。我而家聞到咧已經夠晒香啦。I already feel and smell the char, the caramelization, the char, the protein, and look at that, beautiful 啊！你而家睇下咧。好少煙嘅喎，如果你用第二啲木咧，就好多煙嘅，所以咧你唔可以唔想咧將咧煙燻嗰啲味道太濃咧，影響咧嗰個牛扒嗰啲味道啊，所以咧一定要用呢啲 almond wood 啦。而家咧拎去咧嗰個焗爐嗰度咧500度，華氏500度，大概30分鐘。哇！Wow,
right now we're serving our tomahawk with a panzanella tomato salad. It's a really simple salad. We just take our heirloom tomatoes, we're gonna cut them up just a little bit, and we'll bruise them with our hands as we toss the salad. You can see how like some of the juice is coming out as we squeeze the tomatoes.
用隻手捏一捏佢，番茄汁變成一個醬，溝埋一齊特別好食。放喺旁邊。
Let that dressing just kind of drizzle over the top, just to give a little sharp cheese flavor to enjoy with the steak.
燒烤完之後咧，最低限度咧放多5-6分鐘，然後先切嚇。
So we'll transfer it over to the plate. Drizzle a little olive oil on everybody here.
最靚嘅橄欖油嚇。
A little bit of our flake salt.
鹽巴。
And then here we just have a demi that we make with A1 sauce, like classic steak sauce, so the guests can enjoy that with their steak. Giant tomahawk chop.
Yeah, 我哋最喜歡嘅時間咧，係試菜嘅時間。I saw we have salad.
Yes, Raquel's gonna start by tossing our Caesar salad. This is our house Caesar. It has a classic Caesar dressing, egg, anchovy, Parmesan. We use olio nuovo. This is a first press olive oil. So the first press of the season. It's the cream of the crop, if you will. While she's doing that, we can kind of go over the rest of the meal we have here. So we have our lamb chop. This is our one of our stutzies, our little tasting bites to start your meal. It has a jalapeno mint jelly and pistachio with a little garlic aioli. It's one of my personal favorites. And then of course our tomahawk is about a 60-ounce tomahawk steak. It's not a dry aged steak. We don't really do a lot of dry aging here at the restaurant. We kind of prefer what is called wet aging style. This is a nice juicy tomahawk steak. It's the ribeye cut plus the extra bone. So it's obviously visually impressive as well as delicious. And then we have our tagliatelle pasta here. And if I may, I'm gonna add a little bit of our fresh truffles. So these are fresh Alba white truffles. We're right at the peak beginning of the season right now. And then we have our cappellacci that we made earlier today with the squash filling and the honey saffron butter sauce. We have our pork fried rice. On the other side there, we have our spinalis steak. This is the spinalis of the ribeye that we serve with horseradish soubise and a little demi-glaze and some confit carrots. And then our yam stones there. It's a classic. We've had this on the menu since day one. It's almost like a yam gnocchi, if you will, with rice flour that we then fry and serve with a truffle cream underneath.
It's always a different experience every time we come here, so it's never the same. So we're always looking forward to seeing what's new, what's going to be presented, different flavors, especially with the change of season recently as well.
Cheers.
I think what I'm most excited about is having Chef Yan and Chef Patrick sitting next to us, being able to explain the context of the food and understanding, you know, the process, the techniques, and what makes the food so unique. I think the food should be great. I expect it to be great, but being able to kind of get more of that background story of where the food comes from, how it's prepared, what makes it so special, I think that's going to be a great experience.
I love this. 有咬頭彈牙嘅，咁啊做法咧，好似啲廣東啲雲吞麵嗰啲雲吞好特別啊！試下你嗰個牛扒。
Piece of meat come from?
So this is Australian Wagyu. It's from a company called Kerwi. And this is one of their sort of signature items that they provide for us is their Tomahawk steak. We grill this over our almond wood grill, so you get that nice kind of smokiness on the outside, and then we finish it in the oven so that you get the temperature, the texture that you want of the somewhat slower cooking in the oven.
So what kind of sauce is this?
So it's an A1 demi, so we take our A1 and add it to our demi-glaze, cook it all down, so you get all those flavors, a little bit of sharpness and acidity from the A1. Along with demi-glaze, which is just a reduced beef stock, so much extra beefy flavor to the steak.
The quality, you can tell, you know, from other steakhouses that, you know, really don't provide you the story of how the food is prepared or what type of food you're eating versus Be.Steak.A's introduction of the food, telling you how special the steak is, where the steak is from. I think that's what sets it apart from other steakhouses.
So, what do you think about the pasta with the white truffle?
Very creamy, very good. Yeah. I mean, you can taste the truffle and the creaminess. I think pairs really well with this type of pasta.
这个 truffle 味道很香。
拜松露可能是世界上最名贵的一个食材。今天的白松露呢，大概是3000块一磅美金。
This is not something that you can cultivate in a farm. This is something that we only get them for a few months out of the year. So this rice, again, this has been on the menu since day one as well. This is our pork fried rice.
意大利式嘅豬肉炒飯。I like the texture of the rice. Got the bite to it. 辣辣地，香香地，特別好食喎。
This is our domestic lamb chop. This is one of our appetizers as well. And what's really great about this dish is this is one of the first bites. It's a lamb chop scotadito. It means to like burn your fingers as you eat it because it comes right off the grill, hot to the guest.
平時咧，你食羊扒咧，要整個成個羊扒，成碟羊扒。而家我咧可以叫一份羊扒當為頭盤，好食。
And then this is our yam stone. So it's take a bite, get a little starch. And flavor. Little sweet, little salty.
I was gonna ask if it looks like it should be sweet, like a dessert, but
a touch sweet, but there's not a lot of sugar added here. There's no sugar added to this, so it's just the natural sweetness of the sweet potato.
The sweet potato itself is quite sweet anyway, so.
Got it.
And also a lot of fiber.
I love the subtleness of the truffle too. It makes it very creamy.
今日咧真係大開眼界啊！牛批做得好咧，先要清楚咧牛肉嘅各種部位。產地同埋大廚嗰個烹飪嘅風格同埋手法咧，經驗都好緊要嘅。唔怪得咧喺競爭咁激烈嘅眾多牛排館之中 ，Be.Steak.A 咧都能夠成為肉食者嘅首選餐廳，受到飲食界嘅聖經米其林嘅青睞。我今日咧多謝咧 Be.Steak.A 嘅廚房團隊，更多謝我哋今日咧品嚐嘅嘉賓。我哋咧下次咧再見。
See you again.